So this is session 1 of a new series, and I'm calling it After Pentecost. Now, after the 3,000 people who'd responded to Peter's teaching were baptised, the first thing we hear about them is that they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to Christian fellowship, which included sharing meals together and also praying together. And this is important because this is the basis of being a Christian. We need to remain in fellowship with one another. Now, this fellowship wasn't just getting together and having fun, although I'm sure they did lots of that too, but they were learning together and they were praying together, and they did it regularly. The other aspect of their fellowship was that they cared for the needs of each other. So if anyone were in need, others would be willing to sell some property to help those other ones out. For example, if today Fred lost his job, he's got a mortgage and he's got 5 children, well, someone else in the group might say, well, look, we've got this block of land in town and it's not doing anything. If we sell that, we might be able to help Fred out. And it was this real care that touched other people, and so they came to join the group. Now, in chapter 5 of Acts, we've got the story of Ananias and Sapphira. Firstly, a man named Joseph sold some property and he brought it to the apostles and said, here, distribute this amongst those who need it. So then we have Ananias and Sapphira sell some property. And Ananias first took the money to the apostles and said, here's the money from the property we've sold. But they obviously kept back some. They didn't bring it all. And Peter questioned that. And then Sapphira came along later and Peter questioned her, is this all the money? Oh, yes, it's all the money. Now, both of them dropped dead. I love the next line. Great fear seized the church and all who heard about it. I can imagine why. So why did they suffer such a drastic punishment? Because there was no rule about giving all the money. They were perfectly entitled to keep some or give whatever amount they wanted to. But by pretending that this was all the money, they were actually more concerned with looking good than with caring about the needs of others. And this is the first example of insincerity creeping into the church, and this simply could not be allowed, because insincerity and pretense are the destruction of any Christian community. How far we've drifted from that today. There are church members who are the pillar of church, the pillar of decency, and yet at home they're abusers, or in business they're dishonest. This destroys the very nature of Christian community. We see the devastating result of churches that have tried to cover up abuse or cover up dishonesty simply for the sake of keeping up appearances. I read the other day, trying to look good before God is like dressing up for an X-ray. It's useless, but it's also very offensive to God. We see this back in Amos chapter 5, where God says, away with the noise of your songs. I will not listen to the music of your harps, but let justice roll down like a river and righteousness like a never-failing stream. God wants genuine Christian community, where the love that we have for each other is genuine and real, and that's what attracts other people to come in. And of course, genuine Christian community is where we get nourished and strengthened to live the Christian life.
Master.